In January 2006, In the Life went to Orange City, Iowa to speak to 17-year-old Emily Frerichs. Emily was the only person to come out publicly in her community.
I'll never forget that day, walking through the hallways, hearing those whispers and feeling those eyes on me.
Walking down the hallways the day that I came out at school and hearing all the whispers and just kind of all the anxiety I felt at that time just came out in piano.
People's initial responses were, "Are you a Christian?" And that really bothered me because just because I was gay, people automatically assumed that I couldn't believe in God because I'm some sort of heathen or something like that.
We caught up with her earlier this year and we met with a wiser, happier, proud lesbian woman. Emily now lives in Iowa City, Iowa, and works as a teacher.
Iowa City in general is a really, really friendly place and very open to a lot of diversity. I don't have to be concerned about the way that I dress or the fact that I wanted shorter haircuts. Like, I can express my gender in any way that I like. If somebody realizes I'm gay, it's not a big deal.
The worst comment that I heard was that we don't need a GSA, we don't need a club like this because people who come out deserve to be discriminated against. Gay students or students who are perceived to be gay aren't protected, and they don't even realize it. Because saying faggot or dyke isn't acceptable, and people have made it out to be acceptable.
The GSA that I started, I'm pretty sure, is not running any longer. I just have one younger brother that is still at the high school. He's the youngest sibling that I have. Other than that, I'm not sure that gay rights interest most of the students that go there. So I'm not sure that anyone really is motivated to start a group like that, other than myself. I'm usually really happy to go back because my little brother and sister still live there, and I have a niece as well that lives there. I'm always excited to go back to see my niece and the rest of my family, and it definitely always made me really nervous to see how people would react when they saw me. And the first couple of years when I would go back, maybe 4 or 5 times a year, because it's such a long drive, it would make me apprehensive and anxious, and I'd wonder what people would say to me. Now, it's kind of funny, I'm not sure that a lot of people recognize me, because I've changed a lot.
What is it that saves us is God's grace.
In Jesus, we have redemption through his blood.
I've believed in God ever since I was little. You know, I've been raised as a Christian my entire life. My mother is a very devout Christian. Coming out definitely challenged my faith. You know, people were constantly badgering me, and that made me really doubt some things, like why are people treating me this way, and why are they trying to tell me that I'm going to hell? It's really hard to talk about homosexuality in my relationship with God because the Bible basically says you can't justify it through him. Mm-hmm. But I know that I'm gay, and I know that's not going to change.
Anytime the Bible addresses homosexuality in terms of, it always addresses behavior only. Mm-hmm. But it never affirms, it only says, this is not God's will, this is sin.
And what if I'm gay and I spent the rest of my life with another woman and we never had sex?
Really, from a Christian perspective, there's 2 good options. You know, one option, and this is probably the only one that seems possible at first, is to say, I have these feelings, and because of what God's Word says is I'm not going to act on these feelings. You know, in other words, celibacy, basically. Erotic, romantic relationship with the same gender is really not a Christian option.
I feel like when I left Orange City, I was still pretty deep in my Christian faith, and I'm not entirely convinced that Christianity isn't for me. It's hard to explain because I kind of feel like there is something there, and I do still believe in something bigger, but still sort of figuring it out. It's definitely not as devout as I was when I was younger.